So what I decided to measure, in part because I was a PhD student, kind of a little bit on my own with this project and trying to find something that was non-invasive and easy enough for me to learn how to measure. So what I measured was their spleen size. And so the spleen, isn't the first organ you think about when you think about diving, but it plays a really important role in diving, which is that it stores red blood cells. So it's kind of like this oxygen reservoir, because you have these oxygen-rich red blood cells just sitting in the spleen. And when you dive, your spleen contracts and those get pushed into circulation. So this increases the amount of oxygen that's circulating through your body. And so some people have called it a biological scuba tank. So you're kind of carrying around this little extra reserve of oxygen that may be able to prolong dive time or make diving safer.
Wow. So this activates only when you're holding your breath?
That's right. Yeah. So it's actually, it to a certain extent, it also is activated when you exercise. So like horses have huge spleens, greyhounds have huge spleens, and they think that contributes to their ability, to perform at such a high level in terms of exercise. But it's much more so activated by holding your breath combined with cold water on your face.
Holding your breath and cold water.
That's right. Yeah.
And you say it pumps out more red blood cells?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you get this like injection of red blood cells into circulation that are holding on to oxygen. So suddenly you have access to like 15% more oxygen.
So so how did you figure out the size of their spleens?
So I took a portable ultrasound machine.
Okay.
So yeah, at first I had to learn how to measure a spleen, which is actually kind of tricky with an ultrasound.
Right.
So I was lucky that all the other people involved in my PhD program were very willing participants, because I was just having people over to my apartment to look at their spleens for practice. And then, I carried this like 40-pound machine out to a tiny village in Indonesia, after doing an initial visit where we said like, here's what I'm thinking of doing. What do you think? Is this something you're interested in? And people were very receptive. Went back with the machine and measured a whole bunch of spleens.
So did you have this hypothesis before you measured, or were you just like scanning around trying to see what you could find? Or how did you come to the hypothesis that they might have bigger spleens?
Yeah, it was a number of factors. So, one thing is looking at other animals that have adapted to diving. So certain species of seals that have a really long breath hold also have huge spleens. So the Weddell seal's spleen takes up half of its abdominal cavity. It's huge. And so we thought, okay, if it could increase spleen size in a seal, maybe it could increase spleen size in humans too. And